the things that I have found easy about living in Mexico versus the things that I have found difficult about living in Mexico. This is not about complaining. This is just about reality and my personal experiences. This is not putting a blanket statement over the country of Mexico. So everybody chill out. The difficult things seems to be a larger category than the easy things. So I'm going to start with the easy things. Going to the doctor. I got food poisoning, ended up with gastritis after that. From the time of texting the doctor to being seen, it was all done within like, I don't know, a half hour, 45 minutes, something like that. Very thorough examination. Doctor was really nice. I paid 600 pesos for seeing him, and then that included the 5 medications that I needed. Getting contacts and glasses, I've done both. I got contacts in Mazatlan. I got contacts here in Puerto Escondido, Oaxaca, where I live. I just recently, I think yesterday actually, just picked up new glasses. Not particularly cheap, but quick and no fitting. So I don't know. I put that in the easy category. That's what I'm doing. Easy versus difficult, good versus bad. I don't know. Anyway, another thing that's fairly easy is despite the lack of big box stores here in Puerto Escondido, we only have AutoZone and Domino's as the chains that are here. I've needed several things for my house, like landscaping tools and all sorts of different things, despite there not being one location where I can go and get all the things that I need, like a Home Depot. I have been able to find what I need. I feel like I've been to every single hardware store in this town, but I have found good tools here. They're just spread out. The other really easy thing was renting my house. I didn't need to show any verification of anything. Of course, there's no credit score. There's no credit report here, thank God. I found my house that I'm renting through a connection that I had that knew somebody else that then connected me with the property manager. He told me when to show up to see the property. I saw it. I felt like I needed to move quickly, so I put a little deposit down on it. I had to pay first month's rent and then a deposit equal to a month's rent when I signed the lease. And it was all very, very easy. In hindsight, I rushed it, and I would not have rented this house knowing what I know now, just because the owners have no real interest in maintaining the property, which drives me insane. Difficult things that I find about living in Mexico. I'm going to try to go through this quickly because there are a few of them. I hate the driving here. I don't know if it's this way everywhere in Mexico, but in Oaxaca, I recently drove down the coast to Huatulco and then up to Oaxaca City and then back to Puerto Escondido. People are insanely dangerous for absolutely no reason. The taxi cab drivers are really bad. The colectivo drivers are really bad. There is a large section of just the general population who put people in danger for no reason, and I hate it. Oh, another good thing is that there are colectivos that go pretty much anywhere you want to go, even to small little pueblos. So it is fairly easy to get around if you don't have a car and visit places. Back to the difficult things, customer service is extremely lacking, particularly in Puerto Escondido. However, I did have a recent experience at the VW dealership in Oaxaca City. I had a horrible experience with them, but terrible customer service for the most part. I've talked to people about this. They're like, it's because it's a small town. They don't really care. And I've asked, is it better in the cities? And they say, yes, it's better in the cities. The other thing is the personal space. People have no concept of personal space here. I think also just like being a foreigner and trying to figure out, trying to speak the language, trying to learn language, trying to practice the language, trying to understand the foreigner tax, trying to know how much to tip. That's still something that I just kind of like, if I had a really good experience with somebody, then I tip better. If I have an average experience with somebody, then I tip normally. I'm doing my best here. Definitely, I do not belong in Puerto Escondido. It is way, way, way too chaotic. The infrastructure is nearly non-existent. It's just too small. I'm not a surfer. It's not easy to get work done here. There have been a couple of instances where people just can't seem to get it together to get work done. It's not easy to make friends here with locals. I have met plenty of people. We've exchanged numbers, hit it off, and then it just kind of dies from there. Not from me not trying. It's also not easy to practice your Spanish because if you live in a place where some people speak English English, they don't let you speak Spanish. It's kind of like going to Paris. My plan was never to stay in Mexico long term, so I do want to say that I will not be leaving because of these things, although there are probably pretty good reasons to leave. I'm going to be here for just a temporary amount of time, and then I will move on to somewhere else, and I will have observations about that place. And there will be things that drive me crazy about that place. There isn't a perfect place. Literally just me passing along my experiences about living here. That's all.